before we start anything, because I know I'm going to forget this at the end, that if you do not have a medical card, if you do not have a medical card and you live in New Jersey, I have a office that I like to recommend people. They've been very helpful. Um, if you can't get in touch with them, through the office, you can always contact me and I'll find another way for you to get in touch. But it's going to be backwards. I did not think of that. Basically, Garden State Specialty Medicine, Dr. Alt. You can visit subuxdoc.com, or I'll actually post this in my story. So if you don't have a medical card, you just contact them, let them know RX Mary Jade sent you, and you'll be on your way to a pain-free, or I don't want to say pain-free, I ain't gonna go all that, a pill-free life. There we go. Alright, you want to join in and we'll sesh out. I didn't even know there's a part for questions on here. It's amazing. Okay. Let's do this. Waiting for you.
Hey, howdy.
You got the t-shirts hanging up in the back.
Yeah, I was trying to go a little lower, but it's all good. Gotta advertise a little bit. Dude, how you doing?
I'm tired. How are you?
I'm good. I did some sprints. My knees were killing me, but guess what I did?
What did you do?
I used my witch's brew made by RX Mary Jade.
Hey.
Yeah. Definitely is good.
So.
Well, I'm in the house. I'm not smoking right now, but I got the sangria though. So. Plus, I'm on my break right now. So.
Oh. Yeah, that's terrible. So tell everybody you're taking a tolerance break. Well, introduce yourself. Tell everybody about you, and then talk about your tolerance break.
Hey, people. What's going on out there? So I am Taryn. I am the CEO and creative director of the Real Talk Session Series. The Real Talk Session Series is a community-focused media company that produces edutainment. So that's a combination of education and entertainment catered towards the Black community. And we have the goal of making a positive impact on education reform, mental health awareness, and also criminal justice reform. And of course, cannabis is a part of it. So I feel like it's very important to talk about that because the Black and brown communities are being affected by it the most, but all these white people making all this money off it. So, just trying to bring awareness to that too, and, connected with you, So one of my favorite persons I met in the recent years. I can't talk right now, so.
You could do a tolerance break, that's why.
Yeah. But the tolerance break. So for me, I've been using cannabis for my anxiety probably since 2018, 17, around there. So I'm a late bloomer. I ain't gonna lie. It was like around 30. But I've been using it so consistently to help me with everything that my tolerance is kind of built up. My body's used to everything within it. So the break is meant to lower my tolerance and to, kind of give my body a reset and all that stuff. Not gonna lie though, before my workouts, it is good because it helps me get into a zone. So I take a little puff now before my workout, but other than that, I won't do it any other time after that though.
Wait.
I had to, Jade. I'm trying to get back into shape, and it makes me zone out. So it's a tolerance break because I'm not smoking as much.
Okay.
Wait. Let's say a tolerance reduction. Okay.
Okay. I got that. Okay. I think something similar. Well, it was
Oh, I sweat too, by the way, people. So you want to see me with the rag?
I took a tolerance break, but it was only literally 2 days because that's really all I needed. Last year, I guess it was. I probably need to do another one soon. But
Yeah.
even that 2 days with just like no no cannabis, no edibles, and everything like that, you find yourself a little bit more irritable. But I have to say that the saving grace was like CBD flower and CBD. So
Yeah.
when, I think
Which,
that
by the
people,
way,
yeah.
shaman smoke, CBD, rose, sage, and blue lotus. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Available at your local retailer.
Yes, RX Mary J. Ding.
Thank you. But I find that's actually that smokable herb blend was made off of something that I had found at an event that was in New York. And I tried smokable herbs for the first time, and I'm like, oh, this might be something that I can fuck with. Like, this is actually really good. This, it didn't alter the taste of the cannabis. I didn't find that it did. It enhanced some of the things. So I just also want people to think about, how you're taking a tolerance reduction break, and that even taking a tolerance break, that, you don't have to get rid of smoking, because sometimes that oral fixation is part of your routine, and that can exacerbate your anxiety. So if you still need to just accomplish that smoking action, then maybe you could do some shaman smoke, or you could go to Garden State Hemp in Millburn, New Jersey. I'm plugging it hard. You can go to Garden State Hemp. We're also doing a patient survey giveaway. So if you're somebody who's a patient and you never tried CBD flower, we're picking 4 people out of the giveaway that we're doing. And so people get to try CBD flower. But that's just something that I really want to always offer up to people. But I'm curious as to how did you even come about, like, being like, oh, okay, I need a card. I need to make this happen.
So for me, I've always been the type to really cover all ends. So it was more so for legal protection for me. Because also I used to work at a university, so I wanted to secure my job also. So it was more so for that protection piece of it. But then also, as I really started looking at it, I'm like, it definitely allows me access to quality medicine too. Because, when you're on the streets, you don't know what you're getting. But when you're able to actually go to a dispensary and see the different strains that treat different symptoms, then that's something that's definitely beneficial. And there's not necessarily just the bud, because people think about that. There's different ways to ingest it. So for me, I previously, I only smoked, but after smoking, my next step was drops. And I got that actually from a dispensary. One of my friends got it from me. I didn't actually go to the dispensary myself, but I had tried it. And I'm like, okay, it's cool, but I didn't understand the concept of microdosing though. So I was like, bang, bang, and I was high shit. So, but over time, I learned about microdosing definitely, and especially with your other brew, which is in the other room, which I should have grabbed. But the drops, the tincture definitely helped me out, especially when practicing with the microdosing. And I would drop it into the coffee, like you showed me, and I would notice definitely that it would allow me to have like a little. My creativity would go up, but I wouldn't get that high effect, which is like what I didn't really want, because sometimes when you get too high, your productivity goes down. And with what I do, I need total productivity, So
that's something I think that people kind of discredit microdosing on. You brought a good point up. Is that sometimes you do want to smoke all day or you whatever, but like, just a little bit goes a long way when you're used to that habit of like facing a blunt or smoking the whole bowl to yourself, or let me eat this whole brownie right now, or whatever it may be. To that habit, and then you find your day is wasted. And as much as we talk about the benefits of cannabis and how wonderful it is, that shit make you stupid sometimes. I'm gonna tell you, because like, you can't focus if you're constantly forgetting. And like right now I'm smoking sour diesel, and that's why I kind of put it out, because I remember that's one of the ones that makes me a space cadet. Like I'll pop on a test your good. Yes. And let me clarify that.
Yeah. I used to work in kind of HRish too, so I'll answer after you if you don't hit it.
Yeah. It's, if you have you really should disclose it to your employer. If you have not disclosed it to your employer, then it shouldn't be a problem. However, if you work in a federal type of position, this is not federally legal, so it does not matter. Some jobs, and this was something that I found at the dispensary, like we had one individual, he would come in and he worked for some type of manufacturing facility for military grade something or other. I don't quite remember. But it wasn't a federal job, but because they have to maintain federal guidelines, anybody who was a medical cannabis patient, you know, they worked with him, but they say that they should have been, you know, legally legal. But you should be okay in theory. But what were you gonna say, Taryn? Because you might be looking more.
So from like the more HR perspective, you need to check your job's policies, because there may be something in place there, but also the fact that it is medical, you may be able to get away with it. So I would honestly, like you said, disclosing it is very important, but also sometimes that opens up the stigma too. So for me, I just don't give a fuck, honestly. Oh, I don't know if we curse on here, but for me, it's like, if I'm getting a job done and it's helped me to keep my sanity, then why not? But you have to really check with your HR policies, because, you know, you don't want to assume anything. And, you know, if you need that money, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, that's very true. And there's a lot of people who will try to fight it. And hold up, my Uber Eats purchase came through. My bad. There's a lot of people who would try to like fight it and say, well, no, it's medicine, it's whatever. But like, you're gonna have to go through such a legal struggle sometimes with these things that it's just like, it's not even worth it. If you have the money to put into it to fight, like at the end of the day, are you really gonna want to keep your job at that place? Like, if you gotta sue your employer.
That retaliation shit is real. So.
Yeah, for real. So it's like, always disclose that if you can. And what is it? New Jersey is an at-will state or something? What the hell's the name? What is it called?
I have no idea, but it depends on what your job description is, and also like look at the policies really, because if it does say at will, then they could just for whatever.
Yeah, and you really have no recourse. Like, so, just be careful. Don't medicate if you're medicating at a job where you need to. You know, something like the tinctures, the vapes, like you bringing in. I've made that mistake. I mean, I've worked for myself as a massage therapist. I have worked for myself for many years, so I had that luck, and I had cool clients. But when I open my bag and I'm like, ooh,
that's a sticky.
What's going on? Like, I luckily could be like, oh, that's me, guys. I'm sorry, I'm a medical marijuana patient. But if I worked at a spa, that's not flying.
You gotta know where it's cool at. You know, not every job culture is accepting of it.
Exactly. But going back to the original point, speaking still about work, but like productivity with strain, like, keep doing it. See, keep wanting to smoke, but it's not the one to smoke. You'll find yourself a little cloudy, a little foggy, because you're not necessarily using the appropriate cultivar either for what you're trying to do. So if I have a limited amount, or, you know, sometimes you don't have selection. You go into the dispensary and you're dropping $115, you know, on the low end for you know what I mean? Like,
and that's kind of like my issue too with the dispensaries. So I'm like, but yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's the problem that a lot of people have, and it's like, it limits what you can get yourself, because I really feel like it's just a for-profit. Like, this is, as medical as it is, this is a for-profit. We don't have a recreational and adult use program yet, so everything they do.
And I believe, but always check for yourselves, people out there. But I believe that's on the ballot this year for November 4th for New Jersey. So don't quote me, but look that up. I heard about that though.
Yeah, it will be. And the thing is with that, I actually had a dinner with somebody on Monday from a doctor's office, and they're talking about, and you know, maybe I'm wrong, but that the THC cap is going to be 5% for adult use.
5%.
So Yeah. So you're better off in that case just staying a medical patient because
Yeah.
we can get whatever we need, but so there's going to be, it's a very, 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 very vague, thing that we'd be voting on. So if you just want to do it for the principle of it being in there, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
It's the legislative things going forward where you're going to have to really like try to work on the law, because I already know we live in New Jersey. We already know it's going to be ass backwards. Like, I'm not.
And one thing that should be allowed too, because it is a plant technically, we should be allowed to grow at home. You know, like there's not a big deal about that. You know, it's a plant.
No, I'm not going to be popular right now.
All right, well, what's your take? What's your take?
Seeing a lot of people. This is my only thing, because like my thing is always like public health. Like I'm always about safety.
Mm.
The thing is, I'm just concerned that because of the lack of education, that you're going to have a whole bunch of people growing disgusting medicine and consuming it themselves, and or then trying to sell it to other patients. And that to me, and I'm not one for the government to be all up in our business all the time. Like that is not very much. I live next to the police. I'm already close enough as it is. Thanks.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about this though. Cause I'm going over there like, okay.
Yeah, but it's just like, what the hell was I saying? See, sour diesel. But what was I saying? Oh, that I don't know how they would maintain a quality control other than the wheat. I know that there's tons and tons of great growers out there, and it's really not that hard to do. So I know that a lot of people could do it, but my fear is those people that you already got, the people who buy those fake carts and like just have a nice fancy label on it, thinking they're smoking runs. That you already got people growing stuff with Miracle Grow, and if you already don't know, don't grow your shit with Miracle Grow. I'm tell you right now.
But I think what a cool idea would be though is kind of like a driving school where you have to pass a test and then you get a license to grow. That can kind of be a more regulated approach to do it, because you don't want to give it this free range, but same concept pretty much.
That's a really good idea, actually. That's a really, really good idea.
Thank you. So if you're out there and you take my idea, it's recorded. So
and it's August 20th.
Yes, at 8:20. I probably said 8:19 maybe.
You don't have a newspaper you can hold up, like get more. No, seriously, that's my only thing. Like, but I'm totally for home grow. Other than I'm just worried about the quality control, because I just already know people already try to pass. People are already trying to rip off people with coronavirus stuff. So it's like,
that nasty ass hand sanitizer. Like all the hand sanitizer smell like straight up liquor, the bottom shelf liquor, like nasty.
And then they're like, "Oh, hold up, we're gonna need that back because it causes cancer." Oh, okay. The COVID don't get you the cancer, will. Anyway, but so my mental health journey started with anxiety, I guess, very similarly to yours. And it helped me replace Xanax. Now, had you been on any type of pharmaceuticals prior to?
You said any medicine?
Yeah, had you been on any pharmaceuticals prior to?
Yeah, so I was on a antidepressant. It was like Lexapro. So that was every day, and that shit fucked me up. Like my stomach was killing me, turning all the time, sweating like crazy. And I sweat, and I sweat in the wintertime. But just imagine like it's everything soaked, especially when sleeping. Like my legs would just be crazy. So it wouldn't be any other part. It would just be my legs, which was freaking weird. I would have bad insomnia. And yeah, that was it for the Lexapro. And then I was actually on Xanax, and there was a very short period of time where I actually was addicted to Xanax. and that's when I experienced suicidal ideation and all that stuff. So that's when I realized, I'm like, yo, I'm not fucking with this shit, because I heard about the effects and how easy it is to get hooked. So I went cold turkey for the Xanax, and I actually got off of Lexapro because of the insurance. Like, I lost my job and I didn't have any insurance, so I'm like, Lexapro is about $180 a pop, and I was unemployed. I ain't had no money, but get this, Xanax $8, and I'm like, what's that cost in equity? Like, you're trying to get people hooked on a highly addictive drug, which is Xanax, but something that someone needs every single day, which isn't as addictive, which is Lexapro, is like over $100. So that was kind of like my issue. But then when I found out about like the benefits of cannabis, I'm like, man, it takes away all those symptoms. It's not just targeting one thing, because when you think about prescriptions, they only target one specific symptom, and then the side effects of that fucks you up your whole body, everything else. So with cannabis, it treats the whole entire body. You know, it's a beneficial thing. So it's not really a one size fits all type thing like prescription. So that's what really got me, and I just wanted to be more natural, because like it really felt like poison I was taking, and I was like, I didn't like the way I was feeling.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. And I had just spoke to a woman who
But real quick
she
though, real quick, and I'm not a medical professional, a mental health professional. I am a mental health advocate. So make sure that you make the decision on your own and along the side of your doctor's advice. So don't take anything from me. All right. So that's your disclaimer.
Yeah, this is our personal experience. Nobody is telling you to stop your medicine cold turkey. Nobody's saying that you don't need medicine.
Yes.
There are plenty of conditions where you still do need to have medicine. You know, and cannabis can be supplementary, but it does not have to be the one thing to do. And definitely discuss with your trust.
Another thing that can make you feel better too is getting a shirt for $20. You know, that'll make you feel better. $20 holiday sale going on right now at the Real Talk Session Series. You know, we have multiple designs for you too. Protect her, because that's what we're about over here.
Yes.
And we have to protect him and protect them, because we are inclusive. All right, carry on.
Be safe and wear your t-shirts.
Yes, and that will make you feel better. That's the third option to cannabis and pills. Buy merch. $20 merch.
I'm not even mad at you right now.
And free shipping too. Yes.
Well, I'm glad you got that plug in. But I had talked to a woman on this past week, and her son, who I believe is like 6 or 7 years old, he has all sorts of behavioral issues.
Yeah.
And it took her so much work to get him a medical cannabis card, because it wasn't terminal, you know. It wasn't like, be like Jake, where you have tumor or, a cancer, things like that. It's all behavioral issues.
Yeah.
And she had to fight and fight and fight, and people still give her shit. But she's like, I go to Zen Leaf over in Elizabeth. I give him, he takes 2 drops underneath his tongue a night, and he's like a completely different boy. He is kind and nice and polite, and he finally tells us that he loves us, and just all this stuff. And they go to therapy also, so that's a big thing. Like, they also do go to therapy, but the fact that it was such a drastic change from the kid taking like Adderall and other type of antidepressants. And imagine being like 6 or 7 years old. Like, I was a teenager when I took that stuff, and I took it for the longest time. So I can't even imagine being a 6-year-old. Like,
and antidepressants work differently for adults and children, because I had acne at one point, like real bad acne as a kid, and I went to a dermatologist, and they prescribed me adult antidepressant medication, and I was like, what? But I don't know why I brought that up anyway, sorry. but I forgot. But I was watching Viceland, and that's actually where I got a lot of my early cannabis education. And they were talking about how there was kids with epilepsy, and they were having issues with securing the card too. So the mothers had to illegally acquire the medication and all that stuff. So it's sad that, the pharmaceuticals only have it banned because it's taking money out of their pockets. That's pretty much why this whole thing is this, And, you know, a lot of innocent people are being affected by it, but we see now, you know, that our government doesn't give a fuck about us. But, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
It,
the views of Taryn Morgan, not Jade, so don't worry about it.
no, 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 it's true because it's like it's a very capitalist society that
Yep.
your health is a profit like system. It has nothing to do with actual cultivation of the people and like, their well-being. Is you can't make money off like even when I went to the doctor was very surprised that they're like, you never come to the doctor. And I'm like, why would I come to the doctor if I have a cold? You're just going to give me, like,
Mm-hmm.
I can take care of myself. If you take care of yourself, then you have no need for the doctor. And the
Yeah.
doctors don't. What the hell the good is that? You're not paying their bills. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so there aren't good doctors because there are plenty of good doctors out there. It's just you might have to shop around, make sure you are asking the right
Definitely.
type of questions, make sure you're comfortable, make sure they're listening to you, and you don't have to settle. It's just you always have to remember that you're worth it. So you gotta put the
Mm-hmm.
work. It's just not going to nothing magically falls in your lap. You are either
Yeah.
manifesting in your life or you physically work in this 3D dimension to put that together and make sure that you've been doing all the steps to get to where you got to go.
Yeah.
So,
And people, when they don't realize that looking for doctors is just like dating. You know, just because the first time it doesn't work out, try someone else. It's going to take a while for you to find the right fit. And there's a site, I think it's called ZocDoc, ZocDoc. They're not sponsoring me, but if you want to sponsor me, you know, I got you, ZocDoc. But anyway, ZocDoc has a lot of good reviews on different doctors with different services. So you can see their ratings and see their bedside manners and, you know, get real life testimonies and all that stuff. So, you know, that's a good way to get the doctors because that's important, you know. Yeah.
yeah, I actually did that when my dad was in the hospital, and we were in the emergency room. The doctor came in, and she just had horrible bedside manner, just horrible. I'm like, who is this? And I looked her
Yep.
up and she had a 2-star review, and I'm like, oh, well, she getting another one.
Yep. And I would probably think that it was because of the color of his skin too, his treatment that he received, because
Yeah.
medical racism is very real.
Yeah, and that's what I always tell my mom, like, because I am biracial. I always say, I'm like, thank God that you're with Dad, because if you weren't, I
Absolutely.
because COVID started, and he had to go by himself in the emergency. He had a bunch of serious events.
Mm-hmm.
It was a total different. They left him in dirty clothes in the hallway. It was a total different way to handle someone, and it doesn't mean that these people are outright racist and just saying blatant stuff. It's so ingrained in their behavior. They're like, oh, they just push you to the side, or oh, he's exaggerating. Oh, they're pill seeking. Depending on what you look like when you come in, I've had that happen. I've had even medical marijuana. Ooh, I wish I would have remembered who it was. I had a medical marijuana doctor call. I called because I had fibromyalgia. I was like, I'm looking for a new doctor. I've had 3 or 4 medical cannabis doctors so far. And she called, like, explained to her everything, and she was like, okay, we'll call you back. She called me back, left them. We don't do that kind of thing here. We don't have what you need. We'd have to have proof. Like, and the tone changed completely. It turned to like this. I was doing something illegal, and so I called them back and I let them know. I'm like, excuse me, I do not appreciate being treated like I'm a pill seeker. I came to you. My doctor is no longer practicing and cannot see me. So, like, you lost the patient, and little do you know, now I'm here advocating for patients and doing patient education, and your ass couldn't have all these patients. You didn't. So instead, go to Garden State Specialty.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to look them up definitely because I need to update my prescription. And that's another reason why I was kind of deterred from the program, because when I joined, it was 90 days, but that was never explained to me. So I went to the doctor, I got my card, and then also got the prescription. Well, I got the prescription, then I had to do a different process for getting my card. So I wasn't told that the prescription was only good for 90 days, but now it is good for a year, I believe. So that was another obstacle too. And, you know, the fact that there's a lot of stuff that that's not publicly put out there, you have to really research. That's one thing that annoyed me. And another thing was that the fact that, you know, we have our cards, we have abandoned our Second Amendment rights. So we can't own guns. But people who drink and liquor makes people more aggressive are allowed to have guns. So it's like something's not adding up, you know?
Yeah. I just also want to say to people, because that is a very real thing. And I had this conversation.
Hey, what's going on, Derek? My fault, my uncle came in.
I had this conversation with someone, and if you are somebody who has children,
yeah,
you have to decide whether you getting your children taken away from Child Protective Services or owning a gun is more important. So you got to decide if you want to be a medical cannabis patient, that you're protecting your children on that level, that you know that they're not going to bust up in your home saying that you got drugs, because that has even happened to medical patients where they ran their house, they took away their kids, and they wanted proof to make sure that the medicine was locked up, all of this. So it really, you have to decide, and if you have the benefit of having two individuals and maybe one of you doesn't need medical cannabis, then one of you get the gun license.
yeah.
At this point, they're like, what? But really, like, you have to decide. You got to pick your fights, because I had one father who's just like, nah, I need my gun. And I'm like, that's fine. That's on you. But then don't be posting stuff on Instagram. Don't be public that you have cannabis. You got to really think about this, because, I mean, we know better. We know this ain't crack. This ain't heroin. This is not even completely close to any pill, anything like that. Even if your child did get its hands on it, it ain't overdosing. It's going to giggle, have some slowness neurologically, but
lock your ass down on that couch.
But it's not the same as these pharmaceuticals and these toxic medications. Yeah. So just always weigh that if you're somebody who does have children, about the gun license, because I do know that is something that is very important to some people, especially depending on
with the way the world's looking right now.
Yeah. Be real about it. And also, if you owned your gun license and you applied for your medical marijuana card, here's the real issue. Unless somebody's out there calling, going, "Hey, Taryn has a medical marijuana card and now he's got a gun license," they're not coming after you like that. Like, they're not going to be busting in your house. So also don't blow it up out of proportion, but keep it real, which understand. Be like, if you know you got an angry ex, be like, okay, maybe I won't. But that is, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I know that you had wanted to talk about that. But let me get back to one other point that I didn't get to talk about. So now you got your card, right? And you're like, okay, here. We got these groups of people that do this thing where they don't ever go to the dispensary.
Yeah.
All right. You have to go to the dispensary. Listen, guys, I'm not saying that your local street pharmacist can't point you in the right direction. I am not saying that. You've heard me say I am not saying that, right? Yeah. I did not say that.
Definitely.
But if you ever get stopped by law enforcement and they see that you have an eighth in your car, crackers can read it anyway, but they might want proof that you went to the dispensary. And now, because you've never been, you have no record of you ever setting foot in a dispensary. How did you obtain this? That's the biggest thing people need to consider. If you don't have any up-to-date purchases, and you get stopped, you can have your card all day, but if they go in to state police usually have the access. If they go in and see that you've never even been to dispensary, you don't even know you're assigned dispensary, you are in like you are in some trouble. Like, so also keep that in mind. Like, the color of your skin might play in with that a little bit. Definitely. I got stopped on federal land, and I had a smoke pre-roll in a Harmony dispensary container. I didn't even know it was in there. I saw it in the cup holder, and as he walked around my car, I noticed that he saw it, and I was like, shit. And I had to.
But it still had but it was in the original packaging, because that's one thing I made sure I knew about with the laws, is that you're allowed to transport with it, but must be in the original packaging. So that's the one that I keep with me, like that line. But I definitely get, because like I probably will get the carts. But what about co-ops? Because I've seen co-ops and they ask about there's been benefits for like medical marijuana patients. So with that, is that an acceptable substitute, you think, or that works differently co-ops? Okay, gotcha.
New Jersey does not have any fun.
Got you.
We don't have
Okay.
any, we don't have any. The only thing that makes our state unique versus these other states are the consumption clause. So people always like, the doctor's going to send you a letter in the mail that says you can't consume anywhere, specifically smoking. They say cash only. Hey, that's right. You're right. And it was also cash only. You're going to get a thing that says you shouldn't be smoking anywhere outside of your house. Now, this is because New Jersey, we don't smoke in bars, we don't smoke in restaurants, we don't
Private
have that.
residence.
Exactly. So that's what they're trying to lean more to. But say you were out at a restaurant and you got sick, which has happened to me plenty of times. I have had to medicate in the front, and until the owner of the establishment comes up and says, hey, you can't do that here, you have every right to. If people are outside smoking cigarettes legally, because there's some people who just will walk around and not give a shit that they're around kids. But if you're doing something, hell yeah, if there's an ashtray outside, smoke there. As long as you see that smoking is allowed, smoke. And my other thing is, there was a gentleman who was a patient, and he was making lanyards that say it was like a bright green, and it said NJMMP patient. Like, make sure that you have your card somewhere visible.
I keep that with me in my wallet all the time, right behind my gold card and my license. Yes.
Yeah, I do not ever leave without my card. If I'm medicating, I have it in my hand. Like sometimes I'll go on a walk and I'll smoke. As long as I know I'm in a safe zone, and I'll have my card in my hand.
Yeah, and for me, like I like to use the oils when I'm in public because it's more discreet, and just to avoid any possibilities. Just because like I'm a big black bald guy, so there's a lot of obstacles that I face when it comes to being out in public. But yeah, I prefer the vape pens when I'm out in public. But I definitely will take your advice. I guess got to get my prescription updated. I'm not broke anymore like last year, so I have money now, so I can do that. So I will go there to the site that I can't read because it's backwards.
But I'll post the information later. I'll send it to you, everybody. But I really, 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 really recommend just try to stay as up to date as possible. Keep yourself safe in that aspect. People are always saying this about 2 ounces, right? So that you can have up to 2 ounces, or they're trying to say 4 ounces at a time. Now, I'm about to play devil's advocate a little bit, right?
Okay. I only buy an ounce at a time anyway, so I can't do that.
Prescription is 3 ounces a month. Say you purchase that 3 ounces.
Don't be having me do math right now, okay?
Oh, no, because I'm horrible at math. Say you purchase that 3 ounces that month. And you know your prescription is going to run out, so you purchase next month you purchase the full 3, and then the next month you purchase the full 3. Now you have 9 ounces. Say you're moving to a different part of New Jersey. So now what are you going to do? You're traveling with 9 ounces. Which is, hold up. Oh, okay, let's not do that math.
3 times over the limit.
Half pound? 8 ounces? 8 ounces? Yeah, a little bit over a half pound. How much is a pound? 16 ounces? Yo, y'all, it's late.
Oh, it's 24, right?
I lied.
Yeah, I can't think right now. I don't know. No. Oh, it's 28.
What?
Oh, it's 28, right?
28 grams.
Yeah, it's 28. Then, yeah, I ain't get that far yet. You know, I ain't.
This is the order. Grams, eighths, quarters, halves, ounces. That's the order.
All I know is quarter brick, half brick. Hey.
But there's no.
Yo, wait, hold on. I'm a new smoker, so Jay should know this. I'm only like 4 years in the game, so y'all gotta excuse me. I'm still a baby.
Yeah, I'm 18 years strong smoking cannabis. So here we go.
See, I'm trying to learn from the OGs.
Don't be afraid to carry your cannabis on you if even 16 ounces is a pound. Thank you.
You real,
Thank
you
you.
real, you real.
Thank
Shout out
you.
to her podcast. She got a dope podcast. Check her out. You know.
Yes, yes, thank you. So that you have basically have over half a pound driving around with you. And you know
Yeah.
what? If you got your original packaging, what the hell is the problem? Because you could still have an active prescription and not be using your
You talking
cannabis.
about we ain't never scared? Shit, I'm scared. Fuck that. I got some shit I'm working on. I can't be locked up. Shit. That's a good song though. I like that song, Bone Crusher.
That was my jam. Yeah, that was my jam. R.I.P. Bone Crusher here, no longer with us. So I'm gonna like this for you. Hold on.
Wait, he passed?
Oh,
Bone
yeah,
Crusher passed?
yeah, he had a heart attack.
Yo, I ain't know that shit. Damn.
About
Nah,
that.
Nuck if you buck dude, he's a Trump supporter. We don't listen to that song no more. Nah, we good. But nah, I ain't know that. I gotta look that up. I got shit.
Or maybe he's just dead to me.
I'm gonna say he's dead to you. I'm gonna say that because I'm like, I ain't hear that one.
Am I half? No, I'm not. I am black and white and Native American.
True. So, like, what was I guess, because you're in the industry, so I don't know. I forgot the question. I forgot the question. I ain't gonna lie right now. So,
You're not high. You're on a tolerance. Oh, on a tolerance reduction.
yeah, I'm just tired right now, and I had a little sangria, so you know, things slowing down right now. Definitely. And look at you. You said that you can't speak when you on that. You can't resist. It's like it kept calling me. It kept calling me.
Nobody heard that. But also the process to get your card. How did you find that to be?
So I had a psychiatrist I was seeing, and I told her about how I didn't want to take the medication anymore, and I was doing my research on cannabis, and what's good, Chantel? And she referred me to this lady. She seemed cool, but like when you notice like the bedside manner for doctors, it was a little bit different, you know. And I was the only black person in the office, and it was kind of like a lot of people. This is like pre-COVID, by the way, but yeah, I did that. So, like I said, I didn't really have that information that the prescriptions at the time was 90 days. So, you know, it was easy to get the card. It was more so just a money exchange, really. It was like, okay, this, and then she asked some questions. She already had the information because I had the referral. So it really wasn't nothing too crazy like that. So.
Yeah, and I think people, and Luke had brought up a good point. Even though he was speaking about the dispensaries being cash only, that you know, and it's pricey, but you're gonna have to be paying for this out of pocket.
Yes.
Normally, this is not going to cover this. This is not a coverable thing. There are some doctors that can work their way around it, but be very weary of that kind of doctor. And it's not to say they're a bad doctor, because they're doing things the way that they think it should be.
Yeah.
But so what they're trying to do is, if you have a pre-existing condition and say it was your primary care physician, and you have to go for your let's say your lupus medicine, you know, every 3 months. When you go for that, then that's when they'd also be updating your medical marijuana card, because then you're not paying for an additional separate visit. But if they know specifically that you're coming in for your medical marijuana card, your insurance is not going to cover it. I got stuck when I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I was going over here to right over in Old Bridge. I was seeing one doctor, and he no longer practices anymore. I got hit. I got a bill for $220. I was like,
yeah. And that was the time where I didn't really have money. I'm like, that hurt my soul. But yeah, the price wasn't that bad though. I believe I paid $150 for the doctor's appointment, because like you said, insurance doesn't cover that. And then for the card, it might have been around $150, $200 at the time when I got it. So, you know, it really was under $400. I'll say that much.
Yeah. And It said 282, and that's actually really good. 282, like around $300. Anything
Yeah.
over like 400 used to be kind of the cap, and you would have seen that when Dr. Medavowski.
Lynn, what's going on?
And then it's our favorite.
Yes, yes. Best intern in the world, by the way. You know.
Yeah, hire Len for everything, but don't take her away from us.
Exactly. But pay her.
But pay her, please. Pay her well. What was I saying? So there was a doctor that was charging anywhere from $400 to $600. He's coming under an investigation. It was in the papers more recently. So just look at a couple of different doctors to get a bunch of different prices, but you also want to say like maybe cheaper isn't the best because maybe your prescription is constantly running out, or they just suck. Like I had every bad doctor. I really did. In the middle of my doctor's appointment, my doctor tried to hire me for a job to work as a secretary at his front desk. So I didn't take the job. And then he was like arrested shortly thereafter. So but like shop around. If your doctor's office is still charging you over $100 some odd every 3 months, or even every 6 months, if you still are getting around that, it really should be breaking down to about maybe, I want to say $40 to $60 for every 3 months now. Any doctor that has upgraded their practices to fit the new laws, you're going to want to reconsider, because I just actually had a conversation with my friend earlier today, and I wanted to make sure that she wasn't getting ripped off, because I was like, wait, you guys still go in every 3 months? And I had a huge argument with the doctor. I was like, why am I paying you still $150 every 3 months? Like, this is crazy. They changed the law. Oh, well, that it's optional. Don't go to a doctor that just, no, it's optional. They don't give a shit about you. That is no different than a pill mill. Do not support those kinds of people. So just make sure that you can get, like, I'm good until March. I'm good until March. So I don't got to worry about that. So that's the kind of thing, like, just make sure it, and mark it on your calendar, set it in your cell phone, let yourself know, give yourself like a week or two before it expires. So you're not riding dirty, you know? You'll get everything. See, I smoked this.
It's all good. You know, we're towards the end, so, you know, you can go ahead and indulge, you know, wind down.
Yeah, seriously. I can't wait till the program gets a little bit more structure and order and organization, and the education isn't there. So if you're going to the doctor expecting them going to be like, oh, 40 cc's of that AK-47, that's not what's going to happen. Okay.
Definitely. Well, for the benefit of the viewers, you know, eventually we'll have a collaboration between RX Mary J and the Real Talk Session Series for a short educational video series around cannabis. So, you know, we'll be educating the people. you know, unique content.
Yes, I am always open for that. And also, I'm going to plug it again, Rooted Community Education Group. So we are doing a survey for that. If you could visit the link in my bio and fill that out, and that's going to help us figure out how to help you guys the best way to fill up some of these educational gaps when you're at the doctor's offices. So help us help you, and look for some more videos down the line with me and Karen about cannabis education and mental health, because that is definitely something that needs to be
done. Yeah, no, it's definitely we're getting close to the hour mark, so we gotta make sure we're good.
Yeah. My timer just went off. So I pretty much talked about a lot of stuff. I just want people to know that when you go to the dispensary, we do not have this cookie selection. We ain't got no Jungle Boys. We ain't got dabs. You ain't getting no types of Kiva bars. You ain't getting none of that. I'm sorry to break it to you. You got flour. You have tinctures, which are vape cartridges.
Mm.
A half gram vape cartridge is like $75, yo.
Well, what about in DC? Because technically it's legal down there.
Well, you can't bring that back with you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
see?
I never did that though. I never did that though. So I was thinking, in theory, in theory it should work, but in practice, you just told me that it doesn't work that way, So
So
yeah.
if you ever want to go on a day trip down to Washington, D.C. and smoke all of your cannabis with you down there,
Exactly.
we did not tell you to bring it up here.
Yep, that is on you. Indulge down there in DC.
But they have a lot more. They have like DC has suppositories, which are great for people who have any type of GI issues,
Yeah.
or leg cramps and that kind of thing, menstrual cramps. They have oils, they have shatter, they have crumble, they have all of that. Their prices are a little bit better, so
Mm.
you know it makes the difference if you're purchasing enough. But keep in mind, New Jersey's just it's a ridiculously expensive program to begin with.
Yep.
So that's why it's best to understand what you're doing with your medicine. I offer infusion lessons on my website. I have a home infusion video. It is basically like the most, I don't want to say bootleg, but really, I ain't got money like that. So I know how to make stuff that can.
It has character,
Yeah, it has character. It has charm.
Character. Yes.
Character and charm. So, but I know how to make my own stuff, and that's really my whole thing is like that teach a man to fish.
Yeah.
It is to get these people to be able to figure out, how to use their medicine the best because we don't have access to all that. So
Yep.
if you ever need to learn how to make a certain type of medicine from your medicine or your medicine, you can always contact me. You can go to my website and we can schedule something. And
What is your website?
my website is www.rxmaryjade.com.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, tell everybody about your stuff. Kind of, I guess we're gonna wrap it up here. T-shirts.
Well, I thought you never asked. So, we have some new designs. That one right there says "Real Talk Only." Don't let these degrees fool you. You don't have to have a degree to have this shirt. Because some motherfuckers who have degrees are dumb as shit. So,
and they're doctors.
Oh, I know some doctors who are dumb.
Me too.
Yeah. But anyway, all shirts are $20 because it's a $20 holiday sale. What's going on my phone? Oh, pardon me, my phone is dying. Like my tripod is dying. But yeah. So all shirts are $20 until August 31st, and your investment helps us to improve our. Excuse me, I fell again. Improves our content that is catered towards educating and empower Black communities across the country. So, we're working on a very limited budget, but we're trying to make it happen. And everything is free shipping too. So $20 until August 31st. And also we have some amazing curated posts. So we have a ton of different things. So check out our page, done by Lynn. And then also we have a COVID self-care tip coming up, video series coming up too, because it's very important that we all know how to properly take care of ourselves during quarantine and COVID. And it's only going to get worse during this wintertime. So we really want to make sure that people are taking care of themselves, and mental health issues are on the rise. So we want to make sure that people are informed. What's going on? We want to make sure that people are informed and, they're safe out there. So, follow Real Talk Session Series. That is on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We have a new podcast called The Miseducation of the People, where I'm just talking a lot of shit and then talking some smart shit and just talking about all the bullshit that's going on in the country and stuff that we should have learned in school. So, finances, we're going to talk about cannabis, sex, which I have a 2-pack coming up soon. It's going to be very good. And whole bunch of cool other stuff. So, hit me up, talk shit with me. And, oh, actually, you can follow me on Twitter too. Real_MR_Morgan. I'm just on there talking shit. So if you want to talk shit with me, you can go ahead and do that. Nope. I'll be talking shit in one tweet, and then I'll be speaking on some intelligent, smart shit, talking about people in schools. I love talking about leaders who are in charge, who are incompetent as hell. So, have fun.
So everybody gives, trying to follow, support his endeavors. Make sure if
Get out
you
with this.
need a medical cannabis card, keep it together. If you need a medical cannabis card, please contact me. I will put you through the appropriate avenues. All this information is backwards, so it serves you no purpose right now. But I'll post it up later so everybody can see it. If you are trying to cut down, I have Shaman Smoke available. I forgot how much I was charging for it. I think it's 15 jar. It has CBD flower in it. It's organic CBD hemp flower, and we know and are friends with the people who go and get that from the farm. So everything is it's 100% witch sourced herbs, so you need my magic, and it will help you along the way. Hit me up, and yeah, that's all I got.
All
Oh,
right,
check
cool.
out my YouTube. I've been uploading videos on there, and it's good. Subscribe to my YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So I'm an old man, people, and I go to sleep early. So I'll see you all later. It's been a pleasure, Jade. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye
Bye.
later.
I'm kicking you out of here. Remove you. Okay, everyone. So make sure you visit my website, rxmaryjade.com. I almost said the wrong thing, but I know I get people in my DMs asking questions about cannabis stuff and whatnot, and you gotta just go on the website, contact me, let's get you the appropriate fashion, because you're just really gonna get lost in my DMs, and or I'm not gonna respond to you because it's just too in depth and it's something that requires an actual session. Um, I can help you help yourself. I am not here to heal you. You are healer. You are your own healer. Okay, I'm just here to help you. So thank you for tuning in again. We're going to be doing sound healing next week with my friend May. She's a wonderful person. And I actually don't know if she's in the room, but if she's not, check her out, May Divine Lotus. You can follow her. I'll be posting more information. So if you want to try some sound healing and learn more about solfeggio frequencies and all that stuff and why music just makes you feel so good, she's also a medical patient. So we are going to talk about cannabis. All right. So I'll see y'all next week. Bye.